Hey guys, Simasik this here, and I just got back from seeing Frankenweenie, and I loved it. I thought it was a great film. Very easy way to sum this one up, and that is, if you are a fan of Tim Burton's work, then there's really no reason why you're not gonna like this. You're gonna want to see it. I personally was a fan of the original Frankenweenie short, loved it. Have the original cut on the theatrical cut on VHS. Obviously, have the director's cut or the director's or extended cut, whatever it's called. That comes on. I believe I had that on the one of my Nightmare Before Christmas DVDs. And ever since I first saw it, I thought it was great. I love the idea of the kid losing his dog and bringing it back to life. You know, a la Frankenstein with with lightning and bringing back, reanimating his dead dog's corpse. It's it's very Tim Burton. It's, funny and, whimsical, but really dark and kind of twisted all at the same time, which is one of the reasons why I love Tim Burton's work so much. And this film was certainly that. It, had a very Disney sort of feel. It was, kind of friendly and not nearly as dark as, let's say, Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas is, if you've seen that movie, I'm sure you all have, it's pretty dark. I mean, yeah, there's, fun and whimsy stuff and, some kiddie things in there, but it's a really dark movie. This one, it's a bit more family friendly than Nightmare Before Christmas, but it is still kind of dark and twisted at times and has some dark, twisted things going on. Very simple story. It does start off kind of like the short. The kid has this dog who he loves. The dog ends up getting hit by a car, dying, and he ends up reanimating it with lightning. Now, this is where the movie sort of takes this twist, or not to say twist, but it's expanded upon, and where it gets pretty cool. Yeah, you know he's going to bring back his dog, so once he does that, you're kind of like, okay, well, he brought back a dog, now what's going to happen? Something's got to happen, we have a bunch of movie left. That's the basic plot of the movie, but like I said, something else has got to happen now, and what ends up happening is, there's a science fair going on, and all the kids in the class are trying to one-up each other, have the best science project, because whoever has the best science project wins the grand prize for the science fair. So they're all kind of pissed off, because they all end up finding out that this dog has been reanimated. They all know that the kid is obviously going to win the science fair. I believe his name is, Victor. He's going to win the science fair, obviously, because he brought a dog back to life. So they're not too happy with this. They all want to win this fair really badly, and now they know they're kind of screwed, and they're not going to win unless they one-up them. So they all get the idea in their heads to do the same thing, which doesn't really make much sense, because, you're trying to one-up somebody. You find out somebody reanimated a corpse. Well, now you better come up with a really, really, really good idea for the science fair, because you got to top that. But if you're just doing the same thing, then, all 10 kids in your class are going to all have the same exact project. Well, who's going to win then? You all have the same exact project going on. So that didn't really make much sense. But they all decide basically to do the same thing and reanimate their old, reanimate the corpses of some of their old pets. Although not everybody does a pet. One guy does like a rat he finds in a trash can. The other one does like a bat. But a lot of them dig up their old pets and try to bring them back to life. But what they don't realize is it's not going to work the same way. When Victor brings his dog back to life, it's kind of like a Frankenstein's monster sort of dog, but not all the other animals are going to come back that way. At one point, the next experiment they try, they do a fish, and it ends up being an invisible fish. And then once all these other kids decide to reanimate their corpses for their animals, things kind of go haywire, and like I said, it doesn't turn out to be a Frankenstein monster dog or whatever kind of animal. All this crazy stuff happens. There's a mummy hamster. One of the guys brings back his turtle, and it becomes this giant, like Godzilla, more like a Gamera giant turtle. It starts attacking the town. One guy tries to do sea monkeys, and they all become these crazy, these little demonic sea monkey creatures. The guy who tries to bring back a rat, turns into kind of like this werewolf rat creature. The girl who tries to reanimate a bat, her cat has the bat in her mouth at the same time, and turns into this evil flying bat / cat creature. So it's things like that. They all kind of come back as different monsters. I think that was really cool and a neat twist where it wasn't just a bunch of kids reanimating, these kind of corpses and making them all Frankenstein type monsters. Instead, they all came back as different types of monsters. I thought that was really cool and really different, especially once things go crazy, because the only one who's sane is the dog who's brought back. That's the only one who's kind of acting normal. All the rest are crazy and destroying the town and causing all this havoc. And they do mention at one point that the project kind of went the way it did because of like love, and Victor really loved his experiments. That's kind of why things went right, and he didn't really care about the fish project, so that's why things didn't go right with that, and that's why things didn't go right with the other animals. They kind of hint at that, which is kind of a little cheesy if you ask me, but I don't know. Like I said, they only kind of hint at it, so you can take it for what that is if you really want to say, like, Victor's dog was brought back, to life and kind of was normal because of love, and, I don't know, a little cheesy, but like I said, they only kind of hint at that. In fact, the character who hints at that is the new science teacher. He's awesome. Probably my favorite character in the movie was the new science teacher. He was fun and twisted and really weird. And the stuff that he said just cracked me up like all the time. He was a great character. It's a shame he didn't stay the whole time because the townspeople end up kicking him out because him and his crazy science ways, and just he does this great speech before he's kicked out of town. The whole movie's worth seeing just for that speech alone. It was great. So like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I love the whole twist. We'll get to the end in a minute, but again, I love the whole twist of not only it has the same elements from the original short where Victor brings back his dog to life, but then it goes into all the other kids bringing back their animals and all the crazy monsters that come and how they wreak havoc on the town, and all hell breaks loose with all these crazy monsters attacking town. It was great. I like the fact that it was in black and white. I thought that was really interesting, an interesting way to go about it. You kind of wouldn't expect that. In fact, I really didn't know much about this movie. I knew that it was out, but I hadn't seen a single trailer for it or anything like that. I really didn't know much about the film other than that it was out and that was based off the short. So I didn't know it was in black and white. So once it started and the whole movie was in black and white, I thought that was really cool. I liked they did that. It was great. Kind of like, again, like the original. The original was in black and white. And, had a great kind of classic monster feel, like classic Universal monster feel. I thought it was really cool they went that route. The movie it felt very much a lot based around the original Frankenstein, the Universal Frankenstein movie, but not all the time. Like I said, there was things changed up, but it had that sort of feel to it. I mean, with Victor bringing back his dog and in that whole scene, and at the end they end up chasing him to this big windmill, and it burns down again, just like at the end of the Universal Frankenstein movie. So I like that as well. Also enjoyed the fact that this movie was actually, I believe it was at least an hour and a half long, if not a little longer. It was a real full-length movie as opposed to Tim Burton's last claymation movie, which The Corpse Bride. That thing seemed like it was done in like 45 minutes. I think it was only like an hour and 15 minutes long or something like that. It was a really short movie. I think that was like with credits too, so maybe like an hour and 10 minutes tops. That movie just it was over before it began. I liked Corpse Bride, but I thought it was way, way, way too short. Could have been drawn out a lot more to make it more interesting. This one, like I said, actually was a decent length as far as I can remember. It was great. I really loved everything about the movie. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was a little Disney-esque in the sense that there was a very happy ending at the end. And my friend who I went to see it with, he even said something about that it really doesn't teach kids a good message. And I would have to agree with that. I thought at the end, maybe Victor's dog should have been left to die, because the dog does kind of end up dying at the end, and then he says to his parents, "Oh, well, you told me that I had to let him go." And I thought it would have been great. Like, okay, the kid realizes that maybe he shouldn't have brought his dog back. These things happen. It's awful. As much as he loves this dog, it was hit by a car. It did die, and it should be left dead. That would have been a good message for kids, to realize that they it's things like this suck, but you need to let them go, and it is what it is. That's life. Unfortunately, the parents go, well, sometimes says something along like the lines of like, well, sometimes parents are wrong, and they all hook the dog up to their car batteries, and the whole town turns their cars on and shocks him back and he comes back to life. And, I just like, it didn't really teach anybody a good message. It was way too happy of an ending. I don't think they should have done that. Makes me wonder if the original ending had the dog dying. I wonder if that was the original ending or not, if there was an original ending. I do wonder about that, if Disney maybe made Tim Burton say, no, let's have a happy ending where the dog comes back. So that did kind of bug me. I do sort of wish that they would have left the dog dead and made Victor kind of learn a lesson to not go around reanimating corpses. It's not a good idea. So yeah, the ending, like I said, kind of bothered me, but it wasn't a horrible ending. It's not like it didn't ruin the movie for me. I just thought it should have gone another way, but it worked. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else more to say about this film. If you're a dog lover, it's a movie to see. There were parts of this movie that, I went from being like a little choked up at times because there were some sad dog moments to other moments where I just wanted to like leave the movie and run home and go play with my dogs. Cause I love dogs. I have 2 dogs at home. I love them to death. I'm definitely a dog guy. And, there's just moments in this movie that really made you appreciate your dog and really love your dog and just want to go home and just play around with your dog and just love your dog. And so definitely a movie for dog fans. My wife is obsessed with dogs and our dogs, and she's as obsessed with our dogs as I am with movies. She's just nuts about them. So when this movie comes out I'll probably pick it up on Blu-ray. When it comes out to Blu-ray, it's definitely a movie I gotta show her, just because it's a movie for dog people. So if you love your dogs, see the movie. I guess I really don't have too much more to say about the film. I did see it in IMAX 3D. This movie did not need to be in IMAX or 3D. That was my thing at the end of the movie. My friend was, again, bitching about how it didn't really teach kids a good message. My thing was, why was this movie in IMAX 3D? It just, I couldn't believe that it was. It didn't seem like a movie that should have been in IMAX, and the 3D was just, it was okay 3D, but the movie, it's not like it had things flying at you or anything like that. It just wasn't a movie that I would say was worth 3D. So, see this movie in IMAX 3D? No, there's no reason to pay that much. We got free tickets, so we didn't even have to pay for it, but no, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to see this in IMAX 3D. It was actually me, my friend, and one other couple in the whole entire IMAX theater. He actually goes sees IMAX movies all the time, and said that this is the first time he's ever been in an IMAX theater that dead. He couldn't believe it, and I can see why. The movie it was not an IMAX movie. I don't understand why they even bothered to put it on that. I mean, yeah, sure, 3D, whatever. I know that's the new gimmick. Every damn movie's in 3D these days, but to put it on IMAX just didn't make sense. So if you really want to go see this movie, just see it in 2D on the regular screen. There's no reason to go see IMAX 3D at all. It'd be a complete waste of your money. You don't need to. Would I say this movie is even worth seeing in theaters? No, not really. I wouldn't say this is a movie you need to see in theaters. It's not, it's not huge and big and epic. It's not really a movie you need to see in theaters. If you're a theater person and you want to go see it, yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It's definitely worth seeing. It was a great movie. I really did enjoy it. So if you really want to see it in theaters and you're a guy or a girl who goes to see movies all the time in theaters, sure, check it out. But if you're just your average moviegoer and you don't go to the movies all that often, just wait for it to come out on DVD or Blu-ray and pick it up. Probably Blu-ray. It'd probably look really good on Blu-ray. So just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, pick it up. Spend your money on that. Don't waste your money on the tickets. For the price you're going to pay to go see it, you can just pick it up on DVD or Blu-ray and have it forever. And that's all you need. You don't need to see this. You don't need to see it in theaters. So yeah, again, a good movie. I would definitely recommend it if you're a fan of the original short. If you're just a fan of Tim Burton, you like, Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride, but, don't mind them being a little bit more Disneyed up, then you're going to enjoy the movie. Like I said, it had some fun twisted parts, but unfortunately a little bit too Disney, but still a good, Tim Burton movie that I would definitely recommend. It was a lot of fun, a lot of winks and nods to classic Universal horror movies, which I absolutely love. So just all in all, a good film that I would definitely recommend. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time I go to the movies. Bye.